what has happened to us? What has happened to our spirit? As a people, we're being walked all over by a bunch of rich politicians who most have never done a day's work in their lives. And do you know what? They are loving it. There is no real pushback against anything the Conservatives do. They cut benefits. They get away with it. They want to make it almost impossible to strike. They get away with it. They virtually get rid of the Freedom of Information Act. They get away with it. They get rid of tax credits. They get away with it. They get rid of the independent living allowance. They get away with it. There just is no pushback. We just accept everything that they throw our way. How long are we seriously going to put up with this? Corbyn does a bit, but a speech here and a speech there is not enough. And he isn't hard-hitting enough to be relevant, I don't think. We need sustained attacks on Cameron. With what he is doing, and what we've now found out he's done, he's there for the taking, believe me. This man needs to be hounded everywhere he goes, so that every time he's seen on the news, he's being booed at and shouted at. And by the way, has anybody seen Nigel Farage nowadays? I haven't seen him on TV for ages. Is he still alive? A few can see what's going on and are doing something, but nothing like what is needed numbers-wise. There just aren't enough people that care. I worry that things are going to get to the stage when an awful lot of people have nothing left to lose, so they lose it. And we could have something serious happen to our MPs, especially Conservative MPs. I don't want that to happen. I'm not advocating that. I'm just saying it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, look at this clip. When I saw this, the first thing I thought of was the Hunger Games. The police protecting this fat, bumbling politician. And this is from disabled protesters. It's like a few months ago when some disabled protesters tried to storm Prime Minister's Question Time. Can you believe that people actually voted for Boris Johnson? I have a go at Americans for continually voting in John McCain, but Boris Johnson, come on, please. The guy's a joke. He's a figure of fun, that's all. What does he offer? Nothing at all. Or am I missing something with him? There's even talk of him now becoming our next Prime Minister. God help us, seriously. Surely it can't be fun for the Tories being spat at and egged. Oh yeah, it's fun to watch, don't get me wrong. But do they not realise that there is true hatred out there for the rich getting richer and the poor needing to die attitude that the Tories expel? This is going to boil over. Look at what Liam Fox has come out and said in the last day or so. He sums up the sheer arrogance of the Conservatives. Liam Fox calls for savage cuts to pensioner benefits. Tory Liam Fox called for savage permanent cuts to pensioner benefits yesterday at a meeting of Taxpayer Alliance. The former Defence Secretary said now was a great opportunity to make sweeping cuts in welfare spending, while the Labour Party is not such a great threat. The change we need will not come from an establishment party. The Labour Party aren't pushing back anywhere like they need to be. Labour voted for the welfare cuts when Harriet Harman was a temporary leader. The people need to push back, but we aren't pushing back, so they keep going further. The Tories aren't even trying to move 10 spaces, expecting to be pushed back 5. This bunch are going for 10 and gaining 11. They can't believe their luck. And now the poor are being told by millionaire Tory Minister Jeremy Hunt to work harder like the Chinese. Despite these Conservative ministers, who most have never done a real day's work in their lives, they want you to work your fingers to the bone because they say that's why you're poor. You just don't work hard enough. What a patronising arsehole. Go and tell that to the single mother holding down 3 jobs. Go and tell that to the employee who didn't get promoted because his boss can't afford to promote him because he's got to find all the taxes he has to pay. Go and tell that to the guy who's been applying for over 200 jobs in the last few months without success. Go and tell that to the small company that again missed out on a big contract because it went to a Tory donor. This is why people despise the Conservatives. How dare they say people aren't working hard enough? They had a segment on Good Morning Britain this morning about kids going hungry. We are apparently one of the world's most richest countries. But because all the Tories care about is profit and their banking chumps, kids are starving. This is the UK. This isn't Ethiopia. In 2015, we seriously need to decide if we value human life because we're showing all the signs that we don't give a toss about our fellow human. What has happened to the protest people were talking about? Oh, there's been the odd one here and there, but nothing to speak of. Is that it now? It's all over. We can just rely on Jeremy Corbyn to fight our corner. Well, God help us if that's all we've got. Why are people not thinking about their children? Is this the kind of world you want to leave to your kids? We will be at war in Syria before you know it, and you can bet your bottom dollar Cameron will find the money for bombing brown people in a far-off country. You can see where Cameron's priorities lie, can't you? We can afford to bomb brown people in a far-off land, but we can't afford to feed our own people. And we voted for this.